Colorblind individuals see the world a bit differently, but that does not make their lives any less vibrant. Most people with this condition have difficulty perceiving red and green shades, but the brain adapts, it paints the world in its own way. Some colorblind individuals can distinguish details that escape the eyes of those with normal vision because they are less distracted by color. For them, the world is not gray, but simply different, in a unique palette. Scientists are even creating glasses that help them see colors closer to the usual. This serves as a reminder that beauty lies not in shades, but in how we view the world. The term internet first appeared in 1974 when scientists described a system that connected different computer networks. At that time, no one could have imagined that this invention would change everything: communication, work, education, and even love. The first users exchanged simple texts, and now we make video calls, stream, and live online almost around the clock. It is amusing that the word internet was born in a scientific article and has now become an integral part of our speech. It symbolizes the connection between people, cities, and entire continents. A digital web where everyone can be heard. The brain of a cat is remarkably similar to that of a human, about 90%. We have a similar structure in the cerebral cortex, which is responsible for emotions, memory, and even dreams. Perhaps that is why cats seem so understanding. They can sense our mood, recognize our voice, and even anticipate our actions. When a cat looks at you with a thoughtful expression, it is truly analyzing what is happening, like a little philosopher on four paws. Scientists are convinced that cats are much smarter than we tend to think. They simply do not need praise. They already know who is in charge. You have probably noticed that cats always land on their feet, but how do they do it? They have an innate vestibular acrobat, an inner ear that instantly determines which way is up and which way is down. If you drop a cat from a small height, it twists in midair, arches its back, spreads its legs, and lands softly like a fluffy parachutist. This instinct develops by the 6th week of life. Scientists even refer to it as the cat rule. So yes, their 9 lives are not a coincidence. Each paw knows where to land. Some buildings can remain cool without air conditioning, and this is not magic, but engineering. Architects use special technologies, reflective coatings, green roofs, and ventilation channels that create natural air circulation. In hot countries, such homes are cooled by the shade of plants and the reflection of sunlight. Even ancient builders understood this principle. Wind catchers were constructed in Persia to lower the temperature inside. Modern smart buildings draw on this experience to save energy. Thus, architecture returns to nature, proving that coolness can be created not only by a button, but also by the mind. If you thought that plants are silent, you are mistaken. They talk, just not with words. Scientists have discovered that through their roots, plants transmit chemical signals to their neighbors. They warn of danger, call for help, or share nutrients. This underground internet is called the Wood Wide Web. Fungi act as conduits, connecting trees into a whole ecosystem where everyone senses everyone. So while walking in the forest, know that a quiet conversation is happening around you, one that has been going on for millions of years. And perhaps the trees know more about you than you know about them. If you love the smell of rain, know that this aroma has a name. It is called petrichor. It is created by the oils that plants release into the soil during drought. When raindrops fall to the ground, they lift tiny particles of these oils mixed with ozone into the air, and that magical scent of freshness is born. Scientists have found that people can detect petrichor even at a concentration of 1 molecule in 1 billion. Perhaps that is why rainy days feel so cozy. It is not just moisture, but a scent of renewal that makes us pause and breathe in life deeply. And now, a bit of romance with a scientific twist. When people look into each other's eyes for more than 8 seconds, their brains begin to produce oxytocin, the so-called trust hormone. Therefore, a prolonged gaze can evoke feelings of warmth, closeness, and even a slight thrill. It's no wonder that lovers can gaze at each other for hours without saying a word. Scientists say that the eyes are not just a mirror of the soul, but a biological key to human trust. So if you want to tell someone something important, just look a little longer. Sometimes a gaze speaks louder than words. Scorpions glow in the dark, and it looks like a scene from a science fiction movie. Under ultraviolet light, their exoskeleton begins to shine with a soft green hue, as if they are coated in neon. Scientists do not fully understand why nature has this feature, but they believe it serves as a form of protection. Perhaps scorpions use their glow to recognize each other or to avoid moonlight. Interestingly, even fossilized scorpions that are millions of years old still glow. Nature seems to have left a piece of mystery within them, a reminder that even the most dangerous creatures can be beautiful in their own way. Some animals can sleep with one eye open, and this is not just a figure of speech. Dolphins and many birds have a unique ability. One half of their brain rests while the other remains alert. This is called unihemispheric sleep. This way, a dolphin can sleep while staying at the water's surface and breathing, and a bird can doze on a branch without falling. Ducks even alternate which eye to keep open to watch for predators. This method of resting is a brilliant invention of nature, combining relaxation and safety. While one part of the brain dreams, the other stands guard over life. The balance between rest and vigilance is a true art of survival. Now, a little about you, or rather, about the body. There are more bacteria living in our bodies than our own cells, and the majority of them are beneficial allies. They help digest food, strengthen the immune system, and even influence our mood, as the gut is connected to the brain through the nervous system. Scientists refer to this as the second brain. When we eat properly, these microscopic inhabitants thrive and make us feel more energetic. So one could say that within each of us resides a tiny universe, and we are its cosmos. Take care of it, and it will surely take care of you in return. In hot deserts, skyscrapers are built tall, not only for beauty, but also for coolness. The higher the building, the lower the temperature on the upper floors, and the wind there cools the air. Additionally, tall towers create shade, reducing the heat on the streets. In the United Arab Emirates, architects wisely utilize this effect. Each tower becomes part of a natural air conditioner for the city. This is a wonderful example of how modern engineering has harmonized with the climate. In a world where heat is becoming a problem, such buildings are not a luxury, but a necessity. Lightning often strikes the same place, and this is no coincidence. There are several regions on the planet where thunderstorms occur almost daily. For example, over Lake Victoria in Africa, lightning flashes hundreds of times a year. This is due to a combination of moist air and constant rising heat currents. Electrical discharges choose locations with good conductivity, mountain peaks, metal structures, or simply areas of land with high moisture content. Therefore, the saying, "lightning does not strike twice," is merely a beautiful metaphor. Nature is quite capable of arranging repetitions, and not just once. When you look at a duck, the world seems calm. It glides smoothly across the water as if making no effort. But if you look beneath the surface, its legs are working furiously. This has become a metaphor for life. Outwardly, we often appear composed, while inside we are paddling with all our might. Ducks are masters of hidden labor. Their legs, by the way, do not feel the cold because the blood vessels there are intertwined in a special way, reducing heat loss. So even when the lake is covered with ice, the duck remains unruffled. It simply knows. The key is not to fuss on the surface, but to work beneath the water. In ancient Egypt, it was believed that the heart was not just an organ, but the throne of the soul. After death, the god Anubis would weigh the deceased's heart on the scales of truth, comparing it to the feather of the goddess Maat. If the heart was lighter than the feather, the person had lived righteously and would attain eternal life. If it was heavier, their soul would vanish forever. Therefore, the Egyptians did not remove the heart during mummification, as it was more important than all other organs. Perhaps there is a lesson for us in this. After all, everything significant is truly measured by the heart, not by words. Hippopotamuses sweat a red liquid, and it looks as if they are covered in blood. In reality, this is not blood, but a special secretion that acts as a natural sunscreen and antiseptic. In the hot African climate, This sweating protects the animal's skin from overheating and microbes. Scientists refer to this liquid as blood sweat because of its color, but there is not a drop of blood in it. Interestingly, the sweat shines in the sun, giving the hippopotamus a sinister yet mesmerizing appearance. Nature seems to have provided it with its own sunscreen, built right into its skin. In Turkey, they are indeed building miniature palaces for homeless cats, and it looks delightful. Local craftsmen create tiny houses with domes, turrets, and patterned windows, resembling real palaces, just the size of a cat. These shelters are placed in parks and on streets so that the animals can hide from the cold and rain. Turkey is known for its love of cats, and in Istanbul, they are everywhere, proud, well-groomed, as if they rule the city themselves. The cat palaces have become a symbol of kindness and respect for animals. It seems that in this place, every cat has its own little dream with a roof. When you look at the clouds, they may seem light as cotton, but a typical cumulus cloud weighs around 500 tons. That's about the same as 100 elephants. It stays in the air because the water in it is in the form of tiny droplets and is evenly distributed throughout a vast volume. Imagine, the sky carries entire mountains of water every day while looking so calm. There is something poetic about this. Even heavy things can be carried easily if they are evenly distributed. And perhaps life works the same way. Some frogs are capable of surviving winter by completely freezing and then coming back to life. They become encased in ice, their hearts stop, their breathing ceases, but in spring they simply thaw out and resume life as if nothing happened. Their secret lies in special substances in their blood that act as a natural antifreeze, protecting their cells from destruction. Scientists are fascinated by this mechanism and are even studying it for potential applications in medicine, such as in the cryopreservation of organs. Nature has once again demonstrated that its inventions are more brilliant than any technology. To freeze and not die, but simply wait for spring. It sounds sad, but wind turbines kill thousands of birds every year. Turbines, which are so beneficial for the environment, turn into traps for the feathered creatures. Birds collide with the blades during migration, not having time to notice them. In the United Kingdom alone, the victims number between 10,000 and 100,000 birds each year. On the other hand, cars and cats kill many more. Scientists are already seeking solutions. For example, painting the blades black or using radars to slow down turbines when a flock approaches. So green energy is always a balance between benefits for the planet and care for its inhabitants. The name Coca-Cola originated from two ingredients, coca leaves and cola nuts. In the late 19th century, pharmacist John Pemberton created the drink as a tonic for fatigue. At that time, the recipe included natural coca extract, which was later replaced with a harmless flavoring. The drink quickly became a symbol of energy, youth, and the American way of life. The logo, designed by Pemberton's bookkeeper, has hardly changed over the course of 100 years, a rare example of a brand that has survived through the ages. Coca-Cola has long transformed from a beverage into a cultural phenomenon, recognizable even in places without electricity. Dragonflies have 6 legs, but they cannot walk. It sounds illogical, doesn't it? These graceful creatures seem designed not for the ground, but for the sky. Their legs are too short in position in a way that makes walking uncomfortable. However, they are perfectly adapted for hunting. A dragonfly uses them like a net to catch prey right in the air. Imagine, it flies, spreads its legs like a basket, and snatches a mosquito mid-flight. Its reaction is lightning fast, and its vision covers almost 360 degrees. For a dragonfly, life is an eternal flight, where there is no time to stop on the ground. There is a lake on Earth where the water boils without fire. It is called Boiling Lake and is located in Dominica. The water in it constantly bubbles and the temperature at the edge is around 90 degrees. The reason lies in the volcanic activity beneath the surface. Hot steam escapes through cracks, heating the water to a state of perpetual boiling. The lake is hidden in a tropical forest and looks like a giant cauldron in which the planet itself cooks clouds. Tourists can only approach at a safe distance. One careless move, and you could end up in a soup of geology and adrenaline. The Arctic tern is a champion among travelers. Every year, this small bird flies from the North Pole to the South Pole and back, nearly 70,000 kilometers. It seems to live in eternal summer, following the sun, as it spends the warm season in each hemisphere. Its route is the longest migration journey on Earth. Scientists track these birds using miniature sensors and are amazed by their accuracy. Terns return to the same spot after years. Their flight is a symbol of perseverance and freedom, proof that even small creatures can achieve great feats. One of the most touching wonders is the tree that cries. On the island of Rhodes in Greece, there grows a mastic tree. When its bark is cut, a transparent resin oozes out, which hardens into droplets resembling tears. These are collected by hand, and this crying is transformed into a rare fragrance, medicine, and sweets. Locals say that the tree cries not from pain, but from joy, as it can share itself. Indeed, its tears smell of freshness and the sea. Sometimes even plants remind us that in every breath of nature, there is a bit of human emotion. Beneath Amsterdam lies an entire network of ancient sewers, built as far back as the 16th century. At that time, the Dutch devised a drainage system to dry out marshy lands and make the city habitable. These tunnels and pipes still serve as the foundation of the metropolis, preventing it from flooding. Engineers of that era literally tamed water, making it flow according to their rules. Some sections of the old sewer system are now open for tours. Tourists descend underground to see how Amsterdam stands on watery bones. It is like the underground heart of the city, which for centuries has pumped not blood, but water. If you love looking at the stars, know this. Some of them are not stars at all, but planets that simply reflect sunlight. Saturn, Jupiter, Venus, and Mars are often visible to the naked eye and have misled people for centuries. Venus is particularly bright. It has been called the morning star and the evening star, with people thinking they were two different objects. Only later did astronomers realize that it is the same planet. So when you gaze at the evening sky, remember, not everything that shines generates its own light. Sometimes it just beautifully reflects someone else's. In Australia and Canada, paper money can be safely washed. It is not afraid of water. The thing is, banknotes there are made not from paper, but from a special polymer. This material is strong, durable, and waterproof. Even if you forget a bill in your jeans and send it for washing, it will come out of the drum looking as good as new. Moreover, such money is difficult to counterfeit. They have transparent windows, intricate patterns, and holograms. These plastic banknotes last longer, are cheaper to produce, and are even more environmentally friendly. In the future, it is possible that paper money will become a rarity, while washable banknotes will become the norm. Have you ever wondered why sparrows don't fall off branches when they sleep? It's simple and brilliant. They have a lock in their feet. When a bird lands, the tendons in its legs automatically tighten, and the toes grip the branch firmly. To release their feet, they need to straighten their legs. But when they sleep, those legs are bent instead. Because of this, a sparrow can peacefully doze off, even upside down. Nature seems to have given them a built-in carabiner to prevent them from falling at the sweetest moment. Sleeping on a branch isn't a miracle. It's engineering from evolution itself. Beneath the ground of Turkey lies the astonishing city of Derinkuyu, capable of sheltering up to 20,000 people. It is carved directly into the rocks and extends dozens of meters downward. Here, there is everything: wells, ventilation shafts, wine cellars, and even schools. This underground labyrinth served as a refuge during times of war and raids. People lived there for weeks until the danger passed. Narrow tunnels, sealed with stone doors, made the city impregnable. Scholars still do not fully know who built it first. Derinkuyu stands as a reminder. When the world above is dangerous, humanity always finds a way to hide the light underground. In India, the longest shoe in the world has been created, measuring 6.5 meters. It is made of leather and fabric, perfectly replicating the shape of real footwear, only enlarged many times. This giant boot has entered the Guinness World Records and has become a symbol of the craftsmanship of Indian artisans. Tourists come to see it as if it were a work of art. The idea started as a joke, but turned into a source of pride for the city. After all, sometimes it is such crazy ideas that inspire people to dream bigger. Literally several meters bigger. There is a lake in the world that changes color like a chameleon. This is Lake Natron in Tanzania. Depending on the season and the level of salts, the water can turn bright red, orange, or pinkish lavender. But the beauty is deceptive. The lake is alkaline, so much so that it can preserve animals that accidentally end up there. The high concentration of minerals turns their bodies into stone-like figurines. It sounds eerie, but it looks mesmerizing. The water reflects the sky like a liquid mirror from another world. This place seems to have come straight from the pages of a myth. Beautiful and dangerous at the same time. Glass, contrary to popular belief, is not quite a solid body, but rather a substance that flows very slowly. Its molecules move so slowly that over the centuries one can observe how old windows become thicker at the base. This is especially noticeable in ancient cathedrals and castles. Scientists refer to glass as a supercooled liquid. It solidifies without forming crystals, yet it does not stop creeping. Of course, the process occurs incredibly slowly, a millimeter over thousands of years. This fact adds a touch of romance to old buildings. Their windows seem to tell the story of how time itself has flowed down them, leaving the marks of centuries. There are indeed roadmaps on the moon for astronauts. During the Apollo missions, NASA engineers left special markings, arrows, and lines on the surface to help astronauts navigate. After all, there is no horizon on the moon in the usual sense, and distances can be deceptive. It is easy to get lost among the craters. These markings help them return to the module and explore new areas. Some of them still lie there, untouched by time. The moon became the first place where humans left navigation signs, like an autograph on another world. It serves as a reminder that even in space we need a map. Ice is not just what we see in a glass or on a winter street. There are more than 17 varieties of it. Everything depends on temperature and pressure. Under extreme conditions, water molecules arrange themselves into different crystalline structures. There is ice that resembles sugar cubes, there is dense ice like metal, and there is even amorphous ice without a clear structure. This type of ice can be found on the ocean floor and on distant moons of planets. Scientists study it to understand how worlds form in the universe. It is amusing to think that what we have come to consider a simple frozen substance is actually a whole gallery of shapes and patterns. In Japan, buildings are constructed from paper. It sounds crazy, but this is modern technology. Architects use recycled paper, reinforced with special resins, to create temporary pavilions, exhibition halls, and even schools. This material is lightweight, warm, and eco-friendly, and it is also resistant to moisture and fire due to special treatment. One famous Japanese architect built an entire pavilion from paper tubes, and it stood for years. These projects prove that even a fragile material can become a symbol of resilience and environmental care. This is the essence of Japan, where beauty and practicality meet in the most unexpected forms. Imagine a flower that can shoot. Yes, this is not fantasy. The plant Echinocystis ejects its seeds with such force that they scatter several meters away. The mechanism works when droplets of water hit the fruits. They swell and create pressure, like a mini catapult. When the shell bursts, the seeds fly out at incredible speed. Nature is the best engineer, creating weapons of growth. A small green projectile flies, lands in the soil, and from it, new life is born. Remarkably, even plants sometimes win not by strength, but by precision. Bees can talk through dance. When a bee finds a nectar source, it returns to the hive and begins to perform a special waggle dance. The direction indicates where to find flowers, while the speed of movement shows the distance. Other bees pick up this signal and fly straight to the target. Essentially, it is a wordless language created millions of years ago. Scientists call it the waggle dance. Imagine if humans could convey GPS coordinates just by wiggling their hips. The world would be a much more fun place. In Slavic mythology, there was a legend about the bird Gamayon, the messenger of wisdom. Her feathers shone like gold, and her voice was so beautiful that even the beast would stop to listen. Gamyun knew everything, the past, the present, and the future, but she shared her knowledge only with those who listened with their hearts. It was said that if you heard her song in a dream, fate would reveal a sign to you. She was a symbol of enlightenment, inspiration, and inner peace. Today, when we speak of intuition, we are essentially calling upon that very Gamyun, just with modern words. Sometimes icebergs are striped, like giant icy watermelons. Their colorful layers form due to the way ice is created. Green stripes come from algae, blue from dense old ice, and yellow and brown from impurities of iron and sand. When the sun illuminates such icy sculptures, they shimmer in all shades of the rainbow, turning into true masterpieces of nature. Scientists believe that the color and structure of icebergs help study the climate of the past, as if the ice holds the history of the Earth within its layers. This is a reminder that even cold can be beautiful. Being born exactly at midnight on the 1st of January is like winning a mini lottery of life. The odds of such an event are about 1 in 26,600, almost like the chance of being struck by lightning. But sometimes fate plays beautifully. A new year means a new person. These little ones become true stars, with newspapers writing about them, and their families receiving congratulations from mayors and even presidents. Imagine celebrating a birthday when fireworks are booming all around the planet. It's not just a holiday, it's a true symbol of beginnings, when the first cry of a baby coincides with the first chime of the clock in the new year. Birds can talk, and this is not a myth, but a wonder of nature and memory. Many species of parrots are capable of mimicking human speech with astonishing accuracy, although they do not understand the meaning of the words. They simply memorize sounds, rhythms, and even intonations, repeating what they hear. Some feathered polyglots know dozens of phrases and even sing melodies. Imagine coming home and being greeted by your feathered neighbor with the phrase, "How are you?" or humming your favorite song. Scientists believe that parrots do this because of their developed social nature. After all, in a flock, they constantly communicate through sounds, and human speech is just a new music of communication for them. Blinking is one of the fastest and most unnoticed movements of our body, but it hides real magic. Each blink lasts about 0.3 of a second, and a person does this approximately 20,000 times a day. While we blink, our eyes are moisturized, cleaned of dust, and our brain gets a brief moment of rest. Scientists have even found that people blink in sync during conversations, as if their bodies are adjusting to each other. So blinking is not just a reflex, but a subtle way for the body to take care of itself. Our eyes literally breathe with each blink. Elephants are true empaths of the animal kingdom. They cry when a relative dies and even return to the bones of the deceased, touching them with their trunks. Their emotions are more complex than we thought. In zoos, it has been observed how elephants comfort each other, wrapping their trunks around one another or standing silently side by side. Their memory is legendary, but not only because of their intelligence. It is infused with feelings. An elephant can recognize the scent of a friend after many years. They are like the wise elders of nature who understand the value of each day and every step. Looking into their eyes, you realize that kindness truly has no form. It simply exists. You may have noticed that birds start singing louder before it rains. This is not poetry, but physics. Before a storm, the pressure drops, the air becomes denser, and sound travels better. Birds sense the changes in the weather and take the opportunity to sing out loud. Additionally, before rain, insects fly lower, which means it's time to hunt. So when you hear a chorus of birds in the air, it's not just a song, it's a natural forecast. Listen closely next time. Perhaps your personal meteorologist will be a sparrow. If plants could count, bamboo would surely be the speed champion. Some of its species can grow up to 91 centimeters in just one day. You can literally watch it stretch upwards. This record is achieved thanks to a special cell structure. They do not divide, but simply stretch quickly, like balloons. In China, bamboo symbolizes resilience and growth, as it grows straight, flexibly, and does not break even in the wind. Indeed, looking at it, you realize that the key is not to rush. Just grow at your own pace, and soon you will find yourself taller than you thought yesterday. The longest earthquake in history lasted a full 10 minutes, an incredible ordeal for the planet. This occurred in 1960 in Chile. The underground tremors of such magnitude altered the coastline, triggered gigantic tsunamis, and were even felt on another continent. The waves reached Japan, and the Earth slightly changed its rotation speed. Imagine 10 minutes when the planet itself is shaking. This event became the largest in the history of observations and helped scientists better understand how tectonic plates move. Since then, Chileans have learned to live with a constant reminder beneath their feet that the power of the Earth is immense and demands respect. When you eat honey, know that you are tasting not just sweetness, but a piece of eternity. Honey is the only food that never spoils. Archaeologists have found jars of honey in Egyptian pyramids that are over 3,000 years old, and it was still edible. The secret lies in its composition. Low water content, high sugar levels, and natural acids that prevent bacteria from surviving. Bees are true alchemists, transforming nectar into liquid gold. So a spoonful of honey in your tea is not just delicious. It is a sip of history that has survived pharaohs and will endure for our grandchildren. The King of Sweden, although he wears a crown, does not hold political power. His role is symbolic. He opens parliament, presents awards, represents the country at ceremonies, and embodies its unity. Modern Swedes view the monarchy with ease, as a beautiful tradition rather than a source of authority. Interestingly, the king rides a bicycle and strives to be as ordinary a citizen as possible. He resembles a kind grandfather more than a ruler. This approach makes the monarchy vibrant and human, an example of how a crown can be a symbol of continuity rather than power. The difference between the birth of twins can sometimes reach truly astonishing lengths, up to 87 days. This occurs when one child is born prematurely while the other remains in the womb to grow and gain strength. Medical professionals conduct meticulous monitoring to ensure the survival of both. These stories resemble miracles. Two babies, separated by weeks, yet forever connected by an invisible thread. As they grow, they joke that the older one is already experienced compared to the younger. Nature sometimes writes the most touching scripts, where time itself moves in favor of life. Fungi are actually closer to animals than to plants, and this overturns the usual understanding of nature. They do not have chlorophyll, so they cannot produce food from light like plants do. Instead, fungi absorb nutrients from organic remains, almost like animals. Scientists have discovered that their DNA is remarkably similar to that of animals, and a common ancestor of fungi and beasts lived more than 1 billion years ago. This is why fungi are so alive and sensitive to their environment. They play a key role in the ecosystem, decomposing dead matter and returning elements to the cycle of life. Without them, the Earth would quickly drown in layers of garbage and leaves. Cockroaches are known for their resilience, and the myth that they could survive a nuclear explosion did not arise from nowhere. These insects can indeed withstand radiation levels several times higher than the lethal dose for humans. The key lies in their slow cell division and simple body structure. However, contrary to the legends, they would not survive an actual nuclear blast either. The temperature is simply too high. Nevertheless, their endurance is astonishing. They can live without a head for several days. So, while a cockroach may not be immortal, it certainly has earned the reputation of being the most stubborn inhabitant of the Earth. Now let's talk about the tongue, the one in the mouth. It is the only muscle in the body that is attached on just one side. It never gets tired, as it works even while we sleep, helping with swallowing and supporting breathing. Each person's tongue print is unique, just like fingerprints. Scientists are even developing technologies for identity recognition based on the tongue print. It's amusing that the organ we use to taste food and chat endlessly also holds our individuality. So the expression "find your tongue" can be taken literally, as everyone has their own one-of-a-kind tongue. Have you ever wondered why the flame of a candle dances when someone speaks? It's all about sound. The vibrations in the air from our voice affect the flame, causing it to quiver and bend. In laboratories, experiments are even conducted where music controls fire. The louder the sound, the stronger the vibrations. Some engineers create entire fire orchestras where the tongues of flame dance to the rhythm of melodies. It becomes a living performance where fire and sound become partners. And there you are, sitting by the candle, listening to music, and suddenly you realize, even fire can dance when there's a song nearby. People love to talk about themselves, and this is not just an observation. It is a scientific fact. Research shows that in a typical conversation, a person spends about 60% of the time talking about themselves. While on social media, this figure jumps to 80. We share stories, opinions, and funny incidents as if weaving ourselves into the conversation to be understood and heard. This is not selfishness, but a natural human need, the desire for connection and recognition. When we talk about ourselves, the brain releases dopamine, the very hormone of pleasure. That is why conversations where we are listened to with interest feel so warm. Imagine a tree that glows in the dark like a lamp. Such a thing truly exists. It is called a bioluminescent tree. Scientists have managed to combine the genes of glowing fungi with the DNA of plants. And now some saplings emit a soft green light at night. For now, this is an experiment, but the idea is simple: to create natural lanterns that could illuminate streets without electricity. Perhaps in the future, cities will shine not with neon, but with living trees whispering in the wind. Nature and science have once again united to bring light to the world, literally from within the leaves. On our planet, there are about 1,500 varieties of tea, each with its own character. From the astringent Pew air to the delicate jasmine, the flavor depends not only on the type of leaves, but also on the climate, altitude, and processing method. The Chinese refer to tea as liquid meditation, while the English call it a cup of tranquility. Wherever you are, tea remains a symbol of comfort and communication. Its aroma has the power to bring people together at the table, to warm and inspire. It is no wonder that it is said a cup of good tea is a pause where happiness resides. There is a remarkable flower that smells like chocolate. It is called chocolate cosmos. This dark burgundy beauty hails from Central America, and its aroma can drive any sweet tooth wild. The flower is so rare that it has nearly disappeared in the wild, but gardeners around the world cultivate it in their collections. Its scent is not overpowering, but soft, with hints of cocoa and vanilla. Nature seems to have played a joke by creating a flower that exudes warmth and coziness. Chocolate cosmos proves that beauty and flavor can be found even in petals. Octopuses are true aliens underwater, as they have 3 hearts and 9 brains. The central brain controls the body, while the 8 smaller ones manage each tentacle separately. This allows each arm to act almost independently, making the octopus one of the most agile and intelligent creatures on the planet. Their blood is blue due to copper rather than iron like ours, and they can change the color of their skin in the blink of an eye. Scientists believe that octopuses are the best candidates for the role of intelligent beings of the ocean. If there were an Academy of Sciences underwater, these slippery geniuses would surely teach biology and camouflage there. Big Ben is actually not a tower, as many believe, but the bell inside it. Its real name is the Great Bell of Westminster, and it is this bell that produces the famous chime recognized all over the world. The tower housing it is called Elizabeth Tower, and the bell itself weighs more than 13 tons. When it tolls, its vibrations can be felt even on the ground beneath your feet. This chime has accompanied London for more than a century, becoming a symbol of reliability in the rhythm of time. It is amusing that an entire city and millions of tourists refer not to the tower by name, but to its heart, the ringing voice that reminds us every hour, time is passing. The smallest horse in the world, named Thumbelina, looks like a character from a fairy tale. Her height is just 43 centimeters, and she weighs less than 20 kilograms, which is about the size of a large dog. She was born in the United States and immediately captured people's hearts with her tiny grace. Despite her miniature size, Thumbelina is a real horse, stubborn, curious, and loves attention. Her owners even created a charity fund with which she visits children's hospitals, bringing joy to the kids. Small but with a huge heart, Thumbelina has proven that greatness can come not from size but from kindness. The eagle in philosophy is not just a bird, but a symbol of strength of spirit and lofty thought. Since ancient times, its image has inspired sages and poets, for the eagle sees further than others, soaring above the ground while maintaining clarity of vision and determination. Its keen sight has become a metaphor for the mind, capable of discerning truth amidst the fog of delusions. In ancient treatises, the eagle represented the power of thought and the ability to shape destiny. Even today, it is depicted on the coats of arms and emblems of universities as a reminder that one should strive to think high, but act wisely. Within each of us lies a bit of that eagle's flight. The elephant's trunk is a true marvel of biomechanics, consisting of approximately 40,000 muscles. It contains no bones, yet it is so flexible and strong that it can lift a log or pick up a coin. Elephants use their trunks as a hand, nose, and trumpet simultaneously. They breathe, drink, greet, and even hug with it. For calves, the trunk resembles a playful toy that they learn to control for months. Scientists continue to be amazed by this organ, a perfect combination of strength and precision. The elephant proves that even in a massive body, there can be remarkable grace. Did you know that coffee is not just a beverage, but also one of the most valuable currencies in history? In Africa, where coffee culture originated, beans were once used as money. Later in the Ottoman Empire, coffee was so expensive that women had the right to file for divorce if their husbands did not provide them with a daily cup. In Europe, this drink was referred to as black gold and was considered a remedy for melancholy. Today, coffee is simply part of the morning routine, but behind every cup lies a story of passion, trade, and inspiration. You could say it does more than wake us up. It connects us to the entire world. Mauna Kea volcano in Hawaii is truly a giant. We just cannot see it in its entirety. Above the ocean's surface, it rises only 4,000 meters, but beneath the water, it hides another 6,000. If measured from its base to its summit, it would be taller than Everest. This dormant volcano is covered with observatories and telescopes. The sky here is exceptionally clear. Scientists joke that Mauna Kea connects Earth and space as its peak nearly touches the stars. Imagine a mountain with roots in the ocean and a summit in the sky, like a bridge between two worlds. In Canada, there are more lakes than in the rest of the world combined. And while this may sound like an exaggeration, it is true. The country is dotted with over 3 million lakes, ranging from tiny ponds to giants like Lake Superior and Lake Huron. Viewed from space, Canada appears as a land reflecting the sky. Lakes cover almost 1/10 of its territory, providing fresh water to millions of people. Here, one can lose themselves for days, wandering along shores where not a soul is encountered. In these vast waters, the soul of the country is reflected, calm, deep, and endless, like the northern horizon. Here's a strange fact about sleep. Dreams during a short daytime nap are often more vivid than at night. This is because the brain quickly enters the REM phase, the one where we experience dreams. In just 15 minutes, one can live an entire story, a flight, an adventure, or a meeting with someone from the past. Scientists say that the brain uses daydreams as a quick reset to shed excess emotions. So if anyone ever tells you that napping during the day is laziness, know that your brain is simply traveling light. In Tibet, there is a remarkable tradition where monks dry wet sheets on themselves during a freezing night. This is a test of spirit and body strength. They sit motionless in the snow, immersing themselves in meditation, and warm the fabric with their breath until it dries. This technique is called tummo, the art of inner heat. Scientists have studied this phenomenon and confirmed that the monk's body temperature does indeed rise. It serves as a reminder that a person is capable of self-regulation much deeper than we tend to believe. Perhaps within each of us resides a small source of fire. Imagine snow that is not white, but pink. This wonder can be found in the mountains of Antarctica and the Alps. It is called watermelon snow. It truly smells like fruit and has a delicate pink hue. This is all due to microscopic algae known as Chlamydomonas nivalis, which live right within the snow crystals. They color the snow and create the effect as if the mountains are sprinkled with strawberry ice. But do not be fooled. This snow is not edible. It can cause an upset stomach. Nature seems to have decided to play a joke and add a touch of summer to the cold peaks. Laughter is not only joy, but also a beneficial workout for the heart. When we laugh, the blood vessels expand, blood circulates faster, and stress literally melts away. Scientists have proven that 10 minutes of genuine laughter can lower blood pressure and improve heart function. It is a kind of free therapy that you can give yourself at any moment. Therefore, when someone tells a funny story, the body perceives it as a gift. So laughter is not just fun, but a biological magic that can extend life. It is no coincidence that they say a good mood is the best prevention against all illnesses. In the north of Norway and Iceland, there are people who experience 2 months without sunlight, a true polar night. But you know what is surprising? Many of them do not fall into despair. On the contrary, they embrace this time. They call it koselig, a special state of coziness. During this period, they light candles, read books, drink hot chocolate, and enjoy tranquility. Scientists have found that it all comes down to perspective. If you see the darkness not as cold, but as an opportunity to rest, the body responds positively. It turns out that happiness does not depend on the sun, but on how you view the darkness. Cat purring is not only an expression of pleasure, but also a means of self-healing. When a cat purrs at a frequency of about 25 Hz, its body is literally healing itself. These vibrations stimulate the regeneration of bones and tissues, aid in healing, and even reduce stress. This is why cats purr not only when they are happy, but also when they are sick or injured. Scientists refer to this as natural physiotherapy, while owners call it the magic of furry friends. So when your pet is comfortably purring on your lap, it is not just content, it is healing itself and perhaps a little bit of you too. When you look at a rainbow, it seems like there is only one, but in reality, each has a secret sister, a second, pale and inverted one. It is just barely visible. This phenomenon is called a double rainbow. The first appears when sunlight reflects inside water droplets once, while the second occurs when it reflects twice. Because of this, the colors are arranged in reverse order, and a dark zone forms between the arcs. The Alexander's Band. For centuries, people have considered it a magical sign, while scientists see it as proof that even a simple raindrop can be an artist. Nature is not afraid to repeat itself. It simply adds a second layer of beauty. To be born on the 29th of February means to come into the world on a day that occurs only once every 4 years. The probability of such an event is approximately 1 in 1,461, which is why leap year children are true rarities. They are teased as eternal youths, since their official birthday happens only once every 4 years. Of course, in practice, they celebrate either on the 28th of February or the 1st of March, but they still feel special. This rare day seems to be made for those who transcend the usual flow of time. The world seems to say, you were born when time itself took a pause. In the Sahara, where it seems there is nothing but sand, live small foxes with enormous ears, the fennec. Their ears, nearly 15 centimeters long, help not only with hearing, but also with cooling down. Blood flows through them, releasing excess heat into the air. Because of this, the fennec does not overheat even under the blazing sun. At night, when the desert cools down, it curls up and hides its nose under its tail to retain warmth. This little creature embodies how nature transforms vulnerability into strength. Small yet with ears like radar, the fennec hears everything, even the breath of the wind. The illusion of an endless chocolate bar is one of the internet's favorite tricks. It seems as if a chocolate bar can be cut and rearranged in such a way that one piece remains extra, while the bar itself does not diminish. In reality, this is merely a clever geometric play on perception. A small difference of fractions of a millimeter tricks our brains into thinking that the chocolate bar is infinite. Of course, you can't create a truly eternal sweet this way, but the idea itself warms the heart. This trick serves as a reminder that sometimes wonders are born not from magic, but from precise mathematics and a love for sweets. It would be wonderful if this actually worked. The Great Barrier Reef is not just a place underwater, but a living organism stretching over 2,000 kilometers. It consists of billions of tiny polyps that create corals and is even visible from space. Thousands of species of fish, starfish, and turtles inhabit this true underwater metropolis. The reef cleans the ocean water, regulates the ecosystem, and protects the shores of Australia. However, it is currently suffering from warming and pollution, causing the corals to lose their color, to bleach. Scientists around the world are fighting for its preservation, as losing the reef is like losing the heart of the ocean. The first alarm clock in the world was quite a temperamental device. It could only ring at one specific time, precisely at 4 in the morning. It was invented by the American clockmaker Levi Hutchins at the end of the 18th century. The alarm clock served exclusively the master himself to ensure he did not oversleep the start of his workday. Setting it for a different time was impossible. The mechanics allowed it to go off only at that fixed moment. It was not until nearly 100 years later that alarm clocks with adjustable mechanisms appeared. Interestingly, the idea, born from the desire simply not to be late for work, ultimately changed the lives of millions and taught us to combat the morning just 5 more minutes. Octopuses are true artists of the ocean, and it is no wonder they have been dubbed decorators of the sea. They enjoy embellishing their homes with shells, stones, and pieces of coral. Scientists have observed how an octopus drags objects to make its den cozy or camouflaged. Sometimes it even uses coconut shells, stacking them like a shield. Such behavior demonstrates a high level of intelligence. After all, the octopus does not simply instinctively dig a burrow, but consciously chooses its design. It seems that if there were a competition for interior design in the ocean, this 8-armed architect would surely take first place. The platypus is one of the strangest creatures on the planet. It has a bill like a duck, a tail like a beaver, and venomous spurs on its legs. Yes, male platypuses are indeed venomous, and their sting can cause intense pain. This Australian animal seems to be made from pieces of different animals, but nature knew what it was doing. It lays eggs, feeds its young with milk without nipples, and hunts with its eyes closed, using electromagnetic fields to sense its prey. The platypus is living proof that evolution has a sense of humor, creating brilliant and unique forms of life. Antarctica is the largest desert on Earth, even though it is entirely covered in ice. Paradoxically, it receives less precipitation than the Sahara. The air is too cold to hold moisture, and therefore, instead of rain and snowfall, there is an almost perpetual dryness. In some areas, not a single snowflake has fallen for millions of years. Despite the harshness, life still manages to break through. Microbes and lichens survive in the cracks of rocks, using sunlight and traces of moisture. Antarctica serves as a reminder that a desert is not just sand, but also endless ice, where silence speaks louder than words. The expression honeymoon did not appear by chance. It has roots in ancient Babylon. After the wedding, the bride's father would gift the newlyweds a month's supply of honey and mead to ensure their union was sweet and fruitful. Since then, the first 30 days of marriage have been called the honeymoon, a time of love, peace, and enjoyment. Over time, the tradition spread across the world, transforming into a symbol of romantic getaways for newlyweds. Today, couples embark on trips, but the meaning remains the same: to relish the beginning of a new life. It is amusing how an ancient drink has become a metaphor for happiness that has endured for thousands of years. In Japan, there is a legend about the suru, the paper crane. It is believed that if one folds 1,000 cranes, their most cherished wish will come true. The story emerged after the war, when a girl named Sadako began folding cranes, hoping to recover. She did not manage to finish 1,000, but her story spread around the world, becoming a symbol of peace and hope. Now paper cranes adorn temples, schools, and hospitals, reminding us that even a simple movement of the hands can become a prayer. Sometimes faith is indeed made of paper, but it holds stronger than stone. Italy is a true treasure trove of humanity, as it is home to the most UNESCO World Heritage Sites, 58 in total. From the ancient Colosseum to the sparkling canals of Venice, from the Alpine Dolomites to the Amalfi Coast, every corner of the country breathes history. Here, ancient ruins coexist with masterpieces of the Renaissance and modern architectural wonders under the open sky. A stroll through Italy feels like a journey through time. In just one day, one can travel from the Rome of Caesar to the galleries of Michelangelo. It is no wonder that Italy is considered a museum under the sky, where every stone holds a secret of the past and beckons one to return again. The spots on a giraffe's skin are as unique as human fingerprints. No giraffe in the world has exactly the same pattern, and it is by these spots that scientists can distinguish individuals. However, their function is not merely decorative. Beneath each spot are special vessels that help regulate body temperature. When it is hot, the blood in these areas cools down more quickly. Additionally, the pattern helps giraffes recognize each other, like a natural passport. In the savannah, where everything seems uniform, these patterns turn each giraffe into a living work of art created by nature itself. Wild bananas are nothing like the smooth fruits found in stores. Inside, they are filled with large seeds, and eating such a banana is nearly impossible. It is hard, with very little flesh. Modern sweet bananas are the result of long-term selection, where people have crossed several wild species to produce a seedless fruit. Interestingly, such hybrids do not reproduce on their own in nature. Every banana you eat is a descendant of a plant that has been manually propagated. So this humble fruit is not just food, but an example of the collaboration between humans and nature. Thanks to this ally, breakfast has become sweeter. Donkeys know how to form true friendships. If they spend enough time together, a strong emotional bond develops between them, almost like that of humans. When one of the pair is taken away, the other may become sad, refuse to eat, and loudly call for their friend with their famous bray. Zoos and farms even try to avoid separating such couples. Even more interesting is that donkeys are excellent at sensing human emotions. If you are calm, they will approach. If you are tense, they will keep their distance. They are like living detectors of emotions. And although a donkey may appear simple, it possesses a remarkable combination of strength, intelligence, and gentleness. It is no wonder that people say, if a donkey trusts you, you are definitely a good person. There is a fish that can live without water, and this is not a fairy tale. The climbing perch found in Asia can breathe atmospheric air and move on land, using its fins like legs. It can crawl through grass or mud, searching for a new river or pond if the old one has dried up. Scientists admire its resilience, for it is such species that could have been the ancestors of terrestrial animals. At first glance, the climbing perch appears unassuming, but its ability to survive heat and dryness makes it a true symbol of adaptation. This is an example of how life will always find a way to move forward, even on land. If you fold a regular sheet of paper 42 times, its thickness would reach the moon. Incredible, but mathematically true. With each fold, the thickness doubles, and after just 20 folds, the sheet would be taller than a skyscraper. Of course, in reality, this is impossible. The paper is too thick and would break long before achieving such results. But the idea itself illustrates how powerful the force of geometric progression is. It serves as a reminder that small steps, repeated many times, can lead to enormous results. Here's a clear example of how mathematics turns into magic. In Argentina, there is indeed a river that burns. It is called Cuervo Cura, and from time to time, flames leap above its surface. This is not a mystery, but a natural phenomenon. Gases rich in methane rise from the riverbed, and when they come into contact with the air, spontaneous ignitions occur. From a distance, it appears as if the water itself is on fire. Locals refer to it as the River of Spirits and tell ancient legends about underground gods guarding the land. Scientists, however, see this as a warning from nature, for constant methane emissions may indicate impending tectonic changes. Beautiful, dangerous, and mesmerizing. You may have noticed that crows seem to understand us, and this is not a coincidence. Their intelligence is comparable to that of a 7-year-old child. Crows can solve problems, use tools, and even plan for the future. Once, scientists observed a crow dropping nuts on the road. It waited for cars to crush them and then calmly picked up the kernels. They are also capable of recognizing people by their faces and holding grudges for years. So if you ever decide to play a prank on a crow, be prepared. It won't forget, but it might forgive you if you bring it some cookies. Giraffes hardly sleep, and this is one of the most astonishing adaptations in the animal kingdom. On average, these giants spend just over 1 hour sleeping each day, dozing in short bursts of a few minutes. The issue is safety. Standing in the middle of the savannah, a giraffe cannot afford to fall into a deep sleep, as lions may be nearby. Sometimes they even sleep while standing, slightly lowering their heads onto their backs. Scientists believe that giraffes compensate for their lack of sleep due to a unique brain structure that quickly recovers during short rest periods. They have truly mastered the art of 5-minute naps. Messages in bottles can travel across the seas for decades, becoming messengers from the past. When someone throws a bottle into the ocean, it can drift for years before reaching another shore. The longest journey of such a message lasted for about 133 years. Incredible, isn't it? During that time, the bottle crossed thousands of kilometers and ended up in another part of the world. People have always been drawn to this romance, sending a letter into the ocean, not knowing who will read it. In the age of the internet, this method of communication feels like a magical reminder of a time when patience and chance created the most astonishing stories. Giraffes have an amazing feature. Their tongue is almost half a meter long and is colored dark blue or even black. This unusual shade is not just a quirk of nature, but a real protection against the sun. After all, giraffes spend many hours a day stripping leaves from tall trees, and their tongue is exposed to the scorching rays the entire time. The dark pigment acts like a natural sunscreen, preventing burns. Moreover, a giraffe's tongue is incredibly sticky and flexible. It can grasp even the thorny branches of acacia. Nature clearly knew what it was doing when it created the perfect tool for life at great heights. Once, several centuries ago, there was a strange method of treating toothache in Europe. People would place a live frog against their cheek. Yes, seriously. It was believed that it would suck out the pain. Another method was to wear a tooth pulled from a wolf as an amulet. Medieval medicine was a mix of desperation and magic, but sometimes surprisingly accurate. The herbs used back then did have pain-relieving effects. So even in ancient beliefs, one can find grains of real science, just wrapped in folklore and superstition. In the Norwegian town of Røros, houses stand directly on stilts, making it resemble a living illustration from a fairy tale. This ancient mining settlement is located in the mountains, where the ground alternates between freezing and thawing, so people built their homes on wooden pillars to prevent them from collapsing. Now the town is listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and has become a true open-air museum. The narrow streets, wooden facades, and chimneys from which smoke rises create a feeling as if time has stood still. Røros reminds us that even in a cold climate, one can live beautifully and comfortably, if built with soul. And now a little about the romance of the night sky. You have probably seen shooting stars, but in reality, they are not stars at all, but tiny particles of cosmic dust burning up in the atmosphere. They enter at speeds of up to 70 kilometers per second and blaze for just a moment. Millions of such particles fall every day, but we only notice the brightest ones. Yet every time you make a wish, look up at the sky and remember, before you is the trail of a star that was born billions of years ago. Perhaps at that moment, the universe is truly listening, just quietly in the way it knows how. In ancient Greece, people believed that the rainbow was not just a beautiful phenomenon, but a road along which the goddess Iris descended from the sky to earth. She was considered a messenger between the gods and humans, and each rainbow was her trail. When colors appeared in the sky, the Greeks would say, "Iris brings a message." Since then, the rainbow has symbolized connection, hope, and peace. And perhaps it is no coincidence that we smile when we see it. Somewhere deep within, the ancient person in us still waits for good news from above. If you wanted to become a real superhero, a cockroach would be perfect for you. These insects can live without their heads for up to a week. The secret lies in their open circulatory system. They breathe through openings in their bodies rather than through their mouths. They only need their heads for eating, but even without them, their bodies can function autonomously for a while. Of course, over time, the cockroach dies of thirst, but the fact remains, their survival rate is almost comic book-like. Scientists joke that cockroaches will survive even in apocalypse. And honestly, looking at their resilience, it's easy to believe that. Every cat has a unique nose print, just like humans have fingerprints. If you take a closer look at a cat's nose, you can notice tiny folds and dots. Their combination is one of a kind. Even twins have different patterns. Scientists joke that if cats ever broke the law, we could create cat databases. In reality, this feature helps veterinarians identify animals, while owners can admire how unique their pets are. It's amazing that even such a tiny organ carries a whole passport of character and individuality. The world of cats is indeed full of small but astonishing mysteries. In Africa, there truly lives a white giraffe, a rare creature that seems to have come straight out of a fairy tale. Its unusual color is explained by leucism, a genetic condition in which the skin loses pigment while the eyes remain dark. Such a giraffe appears like a ghost among the savannah and draws the attention of everyone who sees it. To protect it from poachers, scientists have even equipped the animal with a GPS tracker. The white giraffe has become a symbol of nature's fragility and a reminder that rarity is not a deficiency, but a wonder. It is referred to as a living treasure of Africa, as there are almost no such beings left on the planet.